G'day Pittsburgh Steelers fans, welcome to my third video on Steelers Nation Australia. This one's going to be talking about the Browns game and just a quick wrap up on the season. As I did a few live chats and live videos the other day on Facebook, it was awesome to see everyone's reaction. So let's see how this one flies. I'll be putting this on Steelers Nation Australia on YouTube, and I'll be putting this on Steelers Nation Australia on Facebook. Today I'm wearing the Iron City shirt in Pittsburgh, which is bloody awesome. They got beer down there, but hey, let's jump right into it. Let's talk a little bit about this Browns game and how we go into the playoffs, and what are we, 12-4, and we're heading to find a game to verse the Browns, and it's their first playoff game in a very long time. They're 11-5, and as I'm sitting there downstairs in my house and I'm watching the Steelers play, and I'm talking to one of the blokes in the live chat. I think it was in Glenn, talking some nonsense about something else, and then next minute I see this reaction of Glenn saying, "Well, how did we do this, and what happened?" And then because mine was delayed 40 seconds, and then next minute I look on the screen and Pouncey snapped the ball right over Big Ben's head. Big Ben, Connor have no idea what they're doing. No one went to jump on the football. No one went to kick the football. We're down 7-0, and that's the start we get. 14 minutes and 54 seconds or 41 seconds in the quarter. Come out again, down 7-0. Pittsburgh's driving the ball. What do we have? We've got Big Ben going. I think we get a first down. The next minute, he throws an interception, and then 7-0. This is like a nightmare start. So, very crazy. This game kind of reminded me like the Jags game. However, like Jags game in 2017. However, at the same time, it just like there's no way that we could have played that badly. As Steelers fans, I don't think we watch this game all year, and then we get all pumped up to see what's going to happen. And then next minute, I think it was 14-0. And then they had a good drive. They were using Landry really well. They're using number 80 on the Browns. He was using great motion. Baker finds him, goes to 40 yards, 21-0. And then I can't remember from memory. I think Big Ben threw another pick, and it might have been a pick and a touchdown. I haven't watched the game since. I actually haven't even been on to the NFL side. I can't even go on there just yet. So yeah, with the game before I went on the Facebook Live, I think it was 35-10. And I haven't been doing too many things on the Facebook Live because, like I said, you don't want to see my ugly mug. But I'm going to try and, if I get motivated like I am now, I just want to talk to Steel football. I'm a part of Behind the Steel Curtain as well with my mate Maddie, so we do Steelers Touchdown Under. So that's a great opportunity to be on the YouTube there. Just this kind of thing now just kind of helps me get everything off my chest and be like, yeah, like how were we 35-10 at the halftime? Pretty much, we couldn't win that game. The only solution to win that Browns game was coming out of the tunnel a bit more fired up because their defense wasn't. They weren't tackling anyone. They were tackling ghosts. 35-10 was to get 2 stops, which we did. We got 2 stops. And then also get 2 great drives. To get touchdowns. Now that happened. So we had a little bit of a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. We had a tiny bit of a chance. Once we had that, I think we're down 12 points. So this would have been one of the Brownsville Browns games where, yeah, if they lost this game, that would have been unheard of. And if you're a Browns fan, I don't know, maybe you're just used to that because they haven't been in the playoffs for a long time. So we were down 12 points, and I was back and forth and had a bit of confidence. But then it came to that crucial 4th and 1, and we all know what I'm talking about. The 4th and 1 was where we were punting it, and we did the old fake thing. I think Jordan Dangerfield was out there. Number 37 was going to pretend to run it, and then trying to draw them off sides. But at the same time, if you're in that opportunity, why not use Big Ben? Why not try and go for it? Or like the playoffs on the line, you've been down the whole game, you might as well give it a crack, which it didn't. Tomlin lived in his fears and didn't go for it, and then from there, the Browns get the ball back and run down and score again. no idea. It could have been 42 to 20 something. I can't remember. Um, yeah, but to end the wrap up of this game, like this, the game was versus the Browns had that same feeling it did in 2017 when we versed the Jaguars. So, and that game was 45 to 43 or 42 Jaguars way, where they had we had possession. You know, it was one way for the Jaguars, and it was our way. We couldn't stop Blake Bortles and then their crew, and our defense was awful. Um, their defense was awful, but they got us in the end. So yeah, I just think at this time it's a very tough game. Like this is one of the worst losses I think that I've found with my Steeler or my Pittsburgh Steeler fandom. I've been a fan since, yeah, you heard my story, 2003. A lot of you guys have been a fan a lot longer, but for this one, it kind of hurt because you put all your effort and your fandom, and you buy your towel. And I've had my towel for ages. You buy your jerseys. You do everything that you can to support your team. You join the group Steelers Nation Australia on Facebook. You do everything you can, and you choose your favorite player. You do all these things, and then your team comes out and throws the ball over the head. Could have been a safety. Turns into a touchdown. Done. Come out flat. The running game, the offense has been flat all year. We were 12-4. However, they were flat. I haven't like. We'll talk a little bit about the coming off season with Randy Lane Victor. He's gone now, but this season we played some good football on offense to get the 11-0, and then there were certain times in the Dallas game, and we just stuck by there. But the Bengals game or the Washington football team game, there's no energy. There's none. So in this Browns game, there should have been more energy than what was portrayed because there was nothing. And that's when we went down 28-0, and you're like, what are you meant to do now? Like, do I turn it off? Like, and I don't normally do that with the football games. I watch every single minute of it. I'm a massive fan, like you are as well. At the same time, when your team doesn't want to even run out of the field, and they're too busy doing TikToks and dancing on the sideline or dancing on people's logos, yeah, you kind of think, well, you need a bit of a culture change. You need something. Something's got to happen. Something's got to change. You need a bit of a spark. You need that Joey Porter in the locker room for Denver. They need Bill Cowher. They need James Farrier. They need something to spark it up. James Harrison to knock one of the Browns fans out. Like, you need something to go boom, and it never did. This whole year, I defended Big Ben. I've got his jersey. He's one of my favourite players. I still think he can maybe have another year next year. But at the same time, he threw 4 picks, and that game was in his hands, and it just didn't go the way that we wanted it to. And I did a little poll in the Steelers Nation Australia on the group, and I think I had about 17 votes for people saying we're still not over the game. That's so tough because we have to watch now the Ravens versus the Bills, which we would have been playing the Bills, and we're going to watch the Browns versus the Chiefs. So the only team I'm really rooting for now is, I think, the Bills. I can't root for anyone else really. But that being said, if I look into the Steelers' season overall, it was the first time in history since 1933, since we've been in the competition, that we were 11-0, so that was quite a feat. But then where did the team go from there? 11-0, doing great things, and the social media guys and the NFL guys called us out and said, "Oh, they're the worst 11-0 team in history," and we turned out to be the worst 11-0 team in history. It just happened. Like, as fans, you put all your mind into it and think, "Oh no, we'll be right, and we weren't right. We ended up winning the last 6 games, 1-5. So we beat the Colts and the other 5 games we lost, and then we're out of the playoffs, and now we're watching from the sidelines. So that's that. But a quick season review for the Steelers. They did go 12-4, which is pretty good. They won the AFC North, which is pretty good. Big Ben played well in certain parts. Our running game needs to get a lot better. Our blocking needs to get better. We did have Dotson come in there, and for some reason we played Fowler at the last minute. Our receivers just got to put their head in the game. There's different views on if they should just do social media or not do social media, or if they should just build their brand. But at the same time, you've got to build your brand and you turn up to play the game too. So, there's not much more I can really say about the offense, because with the offense, like it was pick your poison. So you had DJ, you had Claypool. He did a great season this year. 10 touchdowns and is leading all rookies. Big Ben was getting him open, but with the offense too, with Randy Finkner, when he was in there, how many times, I want you to answer this question, because I've answered it and I've actually done it a few times. How many times as a fan, at home or in the bar, were you watching the Steelers offense and you could call what play was coming next? I bet you called a few this season. I called the one against the Ravens when Juju went across the sides. You could see that. You could see that it was going to happen all day. I called the second Watt fullback run. They did it before and it worked brilliantly. The second time they didn't work as well. And the defense the Browns defense knew that, and they attacked and they stopped them. This offense the whole year, it was lackluster, at the same time exciting, but throughout the weeks from week 12, 13 onwards, since the Ravens game, after that debacle, teams began to figure us out, and we weren't playing. We were showing our cards and thinking, oh, we can beat them, but it didn't happen because the defense already knew what was going to happen, and that gave them the advantage. So that's how that ends on that. And look, hopefully we do get back Big Ben next year. We bring in a new offensive coordinator because they got rid of Randy Land. They got rid of Randy Fickner today, which I think is a blessing. Nothing against the bloke. He's probably an awesome guy, probably a great guy. I'll have a beer with him, talk Steelers. But he doesn't run that offense well. It just doesn't. It doesn't muster. It doesn't work. Even though we did have a 12-4 record, it just doesn't. There were certain times you're thinking, why are you running the same play? There was numerous times they ran that two set on the receivers, the two receivers, like split set, and Connor in the middle. And then next minute, they got him once with a draw a few weeks back. But other than that, we've had penalties because the O-line was moving downfield. And then we get the flags. It's just was, lackluster. Big Ben still's got the talent. He's still come back from his injury. Still has the great talent. But I don't know who we're going to get for the offensive coordinator. I still think Tomlin needs to be there. I disagree with all the Tomlin haters. I think he's done a great job. He's been there about 14 years now or something like that. He's been there a long time. I think he's got more to prove. He can win us a Super Bowl. He can get people together. But we didn't need this year. What we needed the most was a running game and to be less predictable. And we didn't do that. And the Browns figured us out. And here we are sitting on the sidelines. Having a few brewskis and chilling out. So, yeah. To wrap things up, guys, I've been going now 14 minutes. Holy dooly. Let's talk a bit about the defense. So with the defense as well, we had TJ Watt had a career year this year. Even though with TJ Watt as well, we had him, getting held on every second play, every third play, because this year in the NFL they weren't calling the flags for holding. Don't know why. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe they wanted more offense. Numerous times TJ got held, got chokeslammer in the throat, and there was no flags at all. But he played a great year. We had Big Bud in there. We're not too sure where Bud's going to go at the end of the season. I've no idea where he's going to go. He could still be with us, but he's such a high price. Someone's going to give him money. So, and we might not be able to afford him. Alex Smith, he stepped up. He played some really good football, and he actually went injured out in the Browns game. Who else we got? We got Minka Fitzpatrick. He played well in spurts. I think Minka played. He played. Yeah, it's a funny one. He's a great safety, but there are sometimes I'm thinking like, does he not want to give away the deep ball, or like because he does make huge play making abilities. He has that. But then is he waiting for someone else to do it? I don't know, but maybe he was missing the help from Joe Hayden for a few games this year. Nelson stepped up. He played really well. We have all these pieces to be a great defense, but there is something I think with this defense, even with Cam in there and Tuitt and Alu, he played unbelievable this season, the big unit up front. So those guys there, and we had Bush and even Spillane stepped in, and Vinny played really well in certain parts. But there seems to be something with the Steelers at the moment, and maybe it's lingering on from the last few years, that it's just there's no real leadership in our Steelers. I don't see anyone truly stepping up to the plate and shaking someone by the shoulders. And you have the We Ride stuff, and that's awesome to see. They do all that stuff, they get them all pumped up, and then they come out completely flat. So there's someone needs to get in the locker room, needs to step up, maybe bring a veteran or like Cam or Minka or Cam and TJ this year have to go around to every single player and remind them of what Steel football is. Steel football is Jerome Bettis, Franco Harris, Mean Joe Green, guys like that. Mel Blunt, hit them as hard as you can. James Harrison, I'm a big fan of James Harrison. He was relentless in every single play. So, and we do have that with our skill positions, but I think we just need them to fire up and just understand the capabilities of who they are and what they can do. So this year, in 2021, I want to see the Steelers get, for me being a fan, it doesn't really matter who they draft to me, because I'm just a fan. I'm not an X's and O's guys. I'm just a fan that has Steeler merchandise everywhere. A fan that loves his team. So, but I just want to see them play with a bit of heart and a bit of bit of guts. And they did well this year. 12-4, it's great. But they got to get past that moment where in the playoffs, I think in the last 6 times in the playoffs, or they're 1-5 or something like that. I can't remember the stat, but it's really bad. We're getting one and done, and when Tebow, well, that was years ago, but Tebow versus and got us done. We haven't had a good string of wins, and we haven't had that back end of the season, and even the last few seasons with 2018, 2019, had great teams. Big Ben went down, and then we had chances to get in the playoffs, and then we just didn't get there. Was it last year? Last year was 2019 when we lost 3 games in a row, and all we had to do was win 1 to get in the playoffs. So something in this locker room, and there's been a few changes with Fickner going out now and other coaches. So, and hopefully Tomlin sticks around, but something in this locker room has got to change. There needs to be more of a spark, more of an energy. If Juju has to get off social media and not do it as much, if Claypool, they don't need to run their mouth as much. If you can talk the talk, you need to walk the walk, and we didn't this year. They were talking the talk, and then Juju got smacked by one of the Ravens. So, yeah, culturally, I think this team needs to just understand who they really are as Pittsburgh Steelers and what they can really bring, because this AFC North is getting harder. Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, he's okay, but he's got a good Browns team around him. And who's the other bloke down there? Bengals, Joey Burrow. These teams are getting younger, so the Steelers got to figure something out. Otherwise, it's going to be mediocrity next season and then the season after. I don't think that will happen. Hopefully, my fandom says that won't happen, but who knows? Only the NFL gods know who's going to go through. And it is hard. It is hard to 1 in 32 teams to get to the Super Bowl, but just to end it, like, this loss felt different, because whenever you've seen a Steeler team go down by 28 points to 0. Like, what were you thinking? 28 points to 0, and you're like, okay, if we get another 7 back, 28 to 7, we've got a chance. And then it was like, it was 28-7, it was 35-7, 35-10, we're like 35-10 at halftime. What do you do? I don't know what you do. That's all part of it, you know. Hopefully I can keep doing these still YouTubes and stuff like that. But I just want to, you know, just do a quick wrap up of the season. And yeah, you guys all saw it too. If you leave in the comments, I'm not too sure, like with the YouTube and stuff, put down like what your favorite moments were, put down who your favorite player was, put down what we need to do. Do we need to draft a running back in the off season? Do we need to draft an O-line to help out Pouncey if Pouncey comes back? There's so many decisions up in the air at the moment, and all we can do is sit back and watch. And I'll cheer them regardless. If Big Ben comes back, 100% I'll cheer. If he doesn't come back, we play Mason, I'll cheer. If we bring in somehow Deshaun Watson, I'll cheer. So, yes, Steeler guys, Steeler Nation, guys and girls. Great season. Yeah. Steelers Nation 2020 is done and dusted, 12-4. We're looking forward to Steeler Nation 2021. Here we go.